Okay, so for today's yoga flow, it's going to be really centered around opening up the hips and lengthening the hamstrings. If you happen to have a block, grab that. If you don't have a block, that's fine. We can modify, but you want to make sure that you have a strap. And if you don't have a strap, then you want to have like a belt or a towel to use, and we can move through that way. So let's go ahead. Come on down to the floor for a moment. It's really important that you begin every practice setting an intention. So I want you to close your eyes, roll the shoulders down the back. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Another deep breath in and let it go. You're going to set an intention for what you're doing today. So setting an intention for your practice means you're finding a word to dedicate your practice to. So when you feel like giving up, you remind yourself of why you arrived. So find one word you can dedicate your practice to. And let's seal that in. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Opening the mouth, exhale. And keeping the eyes closed, you're going to roll the shoulders down the back, tuck the tailbone under. If you can't sit like this, you also have the option to sit on a block. And you can sit up like this, or you can place it in between the legs and sit here. So these are options. We're going to do some neck rolls. So you want to roll the head around in circles, nice and slowly. And you want to reverse it the other direction. The next time you're back to center, you're going to drop your chin down to your chest. So you want the head to be nice and heavy. You're going to clasp your hands just like this. You're going to clasp your hands and place them behind your head, not your neck. So placing the hands behind your head, you're going to round out the spine, C shape with the spine. You're going to draw the elbows into touch and drop the head nice and low. So by doing that, you should feel a stretch in the back of your neck. So go ahead and hold. And then release that, let it go. So we're going to find a shoulder opener just to warm up. So you might need a strap. Maybe you don't. But if you don't have that strap, now is when you want to grab that hand towel. So it looks like this. You're going to raise that right arm into the air. You're going to bend the elbow. You're using your left hand. You're pressing it all the way down your back as far as you can. You're trying to get the elbow behind your head. You want to reach behind and you want to take a bind. But if your shoulders are too tight and you cannot take that bind, you want to grab the strap or the towel. The bottom one is pressing down and out. So bottom one, down and out if you're going to use the prop. And then you're going to release it, shake it up. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Left arm goes into the air, then the elbow, the right one. You still press it back, you help yourself out, you give yourself some leverage, and reach behind and pull down. Down and out. And then release, let that go. So we're going to continue to use the strap. So you're going to take this strap and or the hand towel, whatever you have. You're going to lie on your back. You're going to place the strap at the ball of your right foot. So you're placing the strap at the ball of your right foot. That means it's right underneath the toes. And you want to bring your hands as close to your belly as you can. you want to flex the right toes towards your face. So you're drawing the right leg in towards you. You want to make sure you're tucking the tailbone under, so your belly button is down to the mat. And then you're going to take the straps in the right hand. You're going to wrap it around or just get as close to your foot as you can. And then you're going to bring your leg out to the right. So you're flexing the toes towards the face still. You're finding the stretch in the inside of the thigh. And don't just lay it down. It's not supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be active. So you're grabbing it and you're pulling it up. And then you're going to take the leg, you bring it back to center. Now you're only holding the strap with your left hand. So you place the strap in your left hand. The right hand is right on your right hip. You're going to draw the leg over to the left a little bit. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to lift your back or your butt off the mat. Everything is glued down. You're taking a stretch just for that IT band, just right here. So when that IT band is too tight, it pulls on your knees. So you want to make sure you're finding space in your IT band. So it really only takes like an inch to move over to the left, maybe 2, but usually not any more than that. Hold it there. And then draw the leg all the way back in the best you can, flexing the toes towards the face. And switch. So same thing on the other side. Placing the strap on the ball of that left foot. First round, in towards your face, flexing the toes towards your face. Draw that leg in the best you can. Really important too to start being really mindful. So start to notice if one side of your body is tighter than the other. So the more you can become aware of that and you know that, it'll start to soften on its own because you'll pay a little bit more attention to it. So mind-body awareness is super, super important. So always making sure you know where your max is on each side. Good. Now, wrap it around your wrist. Bring the hands as close as you can. Bring the leg out to the left. You're lengthening the inside of your left thigh. You're still tucking the tailbone under. Your hip and your low back is staying down. If you waver, so if you're so tight that you keep turning over, you can plant the sole of the foot down, but know that you are trying to have a nice long leg one day. Good, now place the straps just in your right hand. So your left hand is going to sit on your left hip. Bring the leg over about an inch or 2. So this is your IT band stretch. Good, draw it all the way back into center. And release, place that beside you. So it's really good to draw the knees into the chest. After that, just rock from side to side, give yourself a little break. And then you're gonna roll yourself all the way up. You're gonna find your way to standing. So you're gonna find a forward fold. If you have a block, you can take a really deep calf stretch by placing the toes on the block, heels down. So if you have a block, find a block and fold over. If you don't have the block, no big deal. You just hang nice and heavy. So when you're in your forward fold, it's really important that you are bending the knees a little bit. You're tucking the chin in. So grab opposite elbows, tuck the chin in, and just hang and sway. And then you're going to take a shoulder opener at the same time. So the only thing you're changing is your arms. Clasp the hands behind your back, shoulders away from your ears. Pull those shoulders away and then tuck the chin back in. Keep swaying, shaking out the head. Then release the hands down. We're going to take something called gorilla pose. So you want to bend your knees as much as you need. You're going to step on the palms of your hands. So you are stepping on as much of the palm of your hand as you can, trying to get your toes at your wrist crease. And then once you do that, it's elbows out to the side, tuck your chin in. And then release that. You're gonna look down at your feet. You want to identify where your heels are at and where the arches of your feet are at. So you're turning the right heel in the arch of your left foot, and you're gonna walk your hands all the way over to the left as far as you can. If you cannot touch the floor and you have a block, place the block behind you. You are trying to keep your chest as close to the leg as possible. And then other side, so left heel, arch of right foot, walk it all the way over to the left. Walk it all the way back to center. Open your feet hip width apart. Bend the knees a little bit, rock around. And then you're going to engage your core. And as slowly as you can, you're going to roll all the way up to standing. So once you get all the way up to standing, you want to tuck that tailbone under. And you want to push to kind of reset this whole area. So push that in. And then from here, we're not going to do any sun salutations. We're just going to go through a couple hamstring and hip openers. So the first one we're going to do, step that left foot back, right foot forward. So you're going to take a low lunge and you're going to place your hands on top of that right knee and just push forward. So you're getting into your left hip flexor. So make sure you're not at a 90-degree angle. You want to push forward as much as you can. And then take a shoulder opener at the same time. So clasp the hands behind the back, shoulders away from the ears. Open up that heart space. And then you'll release it. You're going to bring both hands inside your right foot. And you want to rock. So your goal is to get your forearms all the way down to the mat. But if you can't and you have a block, you can rest your forearms on a block. But if you feel ready and you can go all the way down, lower yourself down to the mat. Keep rocking, keep finding space there. Also super important, your knee is never above the toes. So if you look like this, you need to make sure that you are moving your foot forward, toes out to the side, and lower from here. Come up onto your hands. This is going to be a very deep quad stretch. So if you have really, really tight quads, you want to go very, very slowly. But you're going to come up onto the hands. Maybe you might even need to come up onto a block to give yourself more leverage. But you're going to reach back and you're going to grab the right foot. So opposite hand, opposite foot. You're trying to take a deep quad stretch. You're also taking a hip opener. You are peeling your chest back. Your gaze is over that right shoulder. And release it. Move that out the way. You're going to frame the right foot. You're going to sit back towards the left heel. So you're flexing the right hamstring. If you need support, you can use blocks and place them beside you. Your goal is not to sit on the heel, but you want to be nice and low. You're sitting back towards it, but not on it, and you're dropping your forehead down to your knee. Good, roll it forward. You're just going to step it back. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to step that left foot forward. Come up onto the knee. You're resting your hands on that left knee. You're finding that stretch in that right hip flexor. Push as much as you can. Your core is nice and tight. Clasp the hands behind the back. Lift the chest, shoulders away from your ears. Good, release. Shimmy that left foot out to the left. Rock the hips a little bit. I know that I'm much tighter on my left side. So for my left side, I take more time to go down. So if that's you, take your time. Don't ever force yourself to do something one side's not ready for. I know that I'm rehabbing hamstring stuff and it's just not the right. So you gotta accept where you're at. Never force. If you need to move in stages, you can move in stages where you're lowering down onto a block and then maybe lower all the way down if you're ready. And then we'll take that quad stretch, so coming up onto your hands, you're reaching back, opposite hand, opposite foot, peel back. Good, release. You're framing the left foot now. So you're taking that deep hamstring stretch. You're sitting back towards the right heel, but not on it. You're dropping your forehead down to your left knee. Then you're going to roll it forward, only to find a wide-legged forward fold. So walk the hands over to the right. So now you're in a wide-legged forward fold. You're turning your toes in to face your face, and your heels are turned out. So even if that feels awkward, you want to train yourself that way because that's going to protect your ankles. So toes in, heels out. And then you just want to drop your body weight the best you can. Maybe bend the knees, rock from side to side. Eventually you're trying to grab opposite elbows and relax down. So if you're super far away because you're tight, you can use blocks and you can rest here. Or you may not need as much, or eventually you may not need any. So you still can bend and rock from side to side. Then you're going to roll up halfway, right hand center of the mat, left arm into the air, peel back that left shoulder, open up your heart space. You want to lift your thighs off your kneecaps. And switch, left hand down, right arm into the air, peel back that right shoulder. And release down. From here, we're going to go into frog pose. So place your hands at your hips, engage, and come all the way up. So frog pose, if you're not familiar with that, you want to bring the knees in. So you're in a tabletop position. This is your starting tabletop position. And then you're going to open your knees as wide as you can. So you want to do this with your knees on the mat because it gives you more cushion, but you're opening your knees as wide as you can. Really important, your heels are in line with your knees. Heels in line with your knees, toes out to the side. You don't want to lean forward and you don't want to lean backwards. You want to try to go straight down. So you're holding it here in your frog straight down. This is what it looks like from the side. So make sure you're not doing this. This is kind of cheating. This makes it much more challenging. Also keep in mind, I'm not leaning forward. I'm not pressing back. I'm trying to go right down, right in the center. So you're going to hold it here. A good starting place is to start with your elbows down, and then maybe if you feel like you're loosening a little bit, you open the elbows and bring the forehead all the way down. You got 4 more breaths. From here, you're going to bring those heels in, engage your core. Slide right into a child's pose. So knees nice and wide, forehead down. Rock your hips from side to side, rock your forehead. Take a deep breath in, let it go, and roll on up. You're going to press back into that down dog. You're going to raise your right leg into the air, bend the knee, peel it open. So you want to open the hips. So that means you're thinking about drawing circles on the ceiling. Slide right into a pigeon pose on the right hand side. So right knee is outside of your right wrist. You're pushing your back leg behind you. It's really important that you don't lean into your side. So you're keeping your hip bones facing forward. So hip bones facing forward, you're here. Lift the chest for a little bit. Breathe into it. Anytime you're lifting the chest, it's really important that you keep the core engaged. And then you can walk it out and you can surrender down. These are your last 3 breaths. Coming up onto the hands, you're going to press it back. Take that down dog again. Do the same thing. It's left leg into the air, bend the knee, peel it open, find some circles, open up your hips a little bit, and then slide it in, left knee outside left wrist, pushing that right leg back. So again, my left side is tighter than my right, so I take it very slow, but I'm still being mindful of what's going on in my body, so I'm trying to turn my hip bones to face forward, lift my chest for a little bit, let it sink, and then I'll lower when I'm ready. Last 3 breaths. Coming up onto the hands, you'll press it back, take that down dog again. Just to reset, pedal the feet, bend the knees, rock the hips, take a deep breath in, let it go. Come on down to your seat. So we're going to take Baddha Konasana. So what it looks like is the soles of your feet touch, and you can draw them in as much as you want, or they can be more like a diamond shape, where you're using your forearms to press down the knees. So you're pressing down. You should feel something happening in your hip here. So you're pressing the knees down, dropping the forehead low. Last 2 breaths. From here, you're going to roll right onto your back. And you're going to find your way to your happy baby, which is an excellent hip opener. It's also great for your tailbone. So the soles of the feet face the ceiling. It's really important that your elbows are not inside here or too tight or outside holding an edge. So soles of the feet face the ceiling. You want to grab the foot. If you can't grab the foot, you can grab the big toe, but you're grabbing the foot. Soles of the feet to the ceiling. You're bending your knees and you're practicing bringing your knees closer to the floor beside you. At the same time, really important your low back stays down. So that is your first goal. If you're super tight, think about sucking in the belly and drawing that belly button down. And then you can find some movement by rocking side to side. If you want to get into the hamstrings too, you can practice straightening the legs and rocking. Or you could just hold it here as well. You don't have to do anything. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Draw the knees into the center of the chest. Take your choice. Knees to the left, gaze to the right. And switch, other side. Release back to center. Bring the soles of the feet to touch just like they were. Left hand goes to your heart, right hand to your low belly. You're going to take 3 deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Deep breath in. Let it go. Last deep breath in. Exhale. And then gently bring the knees back together. Roll to the right hand side to that fetal position. Push yourself all the way up to seated. Left hand goes on the heart. Right hand on top of the left. Close your eyes for a moment and silently say to yourself, I am powerful. Deep breath in. And let it go. Hold this feeling of peace within you. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.